Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy. Taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Visit energy.gov.ky or follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. The record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Monday, the 17th day of April, 2023, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Remember to observe the rules of the road. The life you save by so doing may just be your own. We expect the roads of the Cayman Islands to be busier this morning as school has resumed. So we want to also remind you that our precious treasures, our future, they're on the roads of the Cayman Islands either in a school bus or in a parent or relative's vehicle. Some may be even riding their bicycles, or some may be walking to the bus stop. We urge you again, please observe the rules of the road, because we also want to protect our precious treasures, our future in the Cayman Islands, our young people as well. So please, please do that. We know the roads are going to be extremely busy. And again, I think when we contrast when there are vacation days for school and when school is back in, the difference in the volume of traffic on our roads, I believe that in itself provides us, what we see there provides us with an answer to a part of our traffic problems. Whether or not we choose to do something about that in relation to transport, school transport, is another thing. But we know that we see when school is out, less traffic on the roads. When school is in, more traffic on the road. So that tells us something there. So, for those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs are proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, who reminds you to don't take chances with your family's future, and also by More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture, tap into your roots, more than words, located on the second floor of the Thompson building. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. So folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting again this morning to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. You can follow us on YouTube. You do that simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream, and we are on Facebook as well. Those of you who may be dual citizens, British Overseas Territory citizen, as well as U.S. citizen, today is tax day in the U.S. as well. And remember, whether you're residing or working in the U.S. or outside of the U.S., you still have to file your tax returns as long as you remain a citizen. So you want to do that because you really, really don't want to fall afoul of Uncle Sam, because he will come to get you for his money, especially if you owe him some. If you don't, then that's another story. And we know that in the United States, that tax returns is one of the larger infusions of cash into the economy. Billions of dollars returned to taxpayers as well. So today is tax day in the United States as well. So let's look at some of the birthdays. Tomorrow we have Kellyanne Callender, who's celebrating a birthday on the 18th of April. Later in April, on the 19th, Lukia Curtis Meems. On the 19th, Richard Nathan Parsons on the 19th as well. Janice Gibbs, Wednesday the 19th as well. And Ernest Seymour also celebrating a birthday on the 19th. Let's look and see if we have any more here that we can share with you as well. Yesterday, on Sunday, Sizwe Soka celebrated a birthday. Ansel D. Barrel Collins also celebrated a birthday. And as we said earlier, tomorrow, Kellyanne Keelan, Keelan, K-E-E-L-A-N, Keelan Callender, celebrating a birthday as well. So if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday, just send us a WhatsApp message, 925-3261. We will give them a shout out for you this morning as well. And to remind you that the birthday shout outs on For the Record, proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, whose advice to you is to don't take chances with your family's future. And also by More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture, tap into your roots. More Than Words, located on the second floor of the Thompson building. We don't have any guests in the studio this morning. Some last minute changes as far as our schedule is concerned. So the phone lines will be open for you to share information. If you have questions, comments, observations, be more than happy to hear from you. Meanwhile, when we closed off on Friday show, and for the record, we had the opportunity to hear from Miss Julia Frederick, the CEO or managing director. I'm not sure of her title, but she's the head of the Water Authority Cayman here, doing an excellent job in the Cayman Islands, ensuring that we have proper water in the Cayman Islands, that we remain healthy as well. The best water produced not only in the developing world, but in many instances we outperform even developed countries as well, because while many of you like to buy that bottled water from the supermarkets, from the grocery stores, many times we don't know where it is coming from. Here in the Cayman Islands, we certainly know where it's coming from as well. So the Water Authority on Friday the 14th of April released an update on the unprecedented demand for water in Cayman Brac, and I will share that with you as well. And it reads, Water Authority Cayman would like to inform customers in Cayman Brac that works are continuing on the water production plant in order to increase its production capacity. This additional production capacity will allow for a larger volume of orders to be filled daily and will also result in a shorter queue and quicker order turnarounds. Customers can be reassured that the authority staff are diligently working to ensure that improved production capacity is able to meet the unprecedented demand for water currently being experienced. Both piped water and truck water customers are encouraged to continue to be conservative with their water usage where possible. Water Authority Cayman apologizes for the inconveniences and thanks the Cayman Brac customers for their continued patience and understanding while we work through the challenges of this situation. And again, we want to thank the Water Authority for that. But again, for all of the public entities out there, and this goes to private entities as well, but in particular, public entities, government entities, it is always so important for you to control the narrative. And how do you control the narrative? By getting ahead of the situation. Don't wait until people start to complain publicly about it and then you react to it. Let the public know exactly what is happening in advance. You get to control the narrative. You get to the opportunity to say exactly what is happening, and that then dispels all of the rumor mongering that could possibly take place after that as well. So it is important for you to get out there first on that. I'm going to say one more thing before we go to the commercial break. You may have noticed, and some people have commented, the fact that on For the Record, I haven't said much about the controversies that have been taking place with the Cayman Athletics Association as well as the Cycling Association. And I'm not going to embroil myself into the conversation because we're hearing both sides. In many instances, sometimes we're hearing 3 and 4 sides of it, and we know that there's a saying, there's always 3 sides to a story: your side, my side, and the truth. But what I will say is to the executives of those organizations that it is not about you, it is always about the athletes. And that's where the focus should be. What do they say in professional sports? You don't fire the athlete, you fire the coaches, or you fire the executive, the general managers, and everything. So if you find that your executive is dominating the conversation, that your actions or lack of action is dominating the conversation, then I think it is time for you to take a close look at yourself and consider your options at that point in time. If your presence and your activities are overshadowing the accomplishments of the athletes, then that is when you really need to consider your position. So that is all that I will say with it. It is not about the executive, it is about the athletes. And when the executives become the focus of the attention, then that is time for you to consider your options. I will say no more on the subject. We're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Henry Mayothan Eden, 1850 through 1933. Henry Mayothan Eden was probably born in the 1850s. He was a respected leader in Georgetown. One of the prominent merchants of his day, he owned a good deal of property and was also part owner with Captain Livingston Anderson of the sloop Panama. The sloop was used to transport sand from the coast of Panama to Colon, where the Panama Canal was under construction. Henry and Captain Anderson would take turns commanding her every 6 months. For many years, he worked on the surveying ships that laid cable around the Caribbean. He was a manager of the Presbyterian Church of Georgetown during the early 1900s.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Every boy, every girl, every mom, every dad, every student, every teacher, every scholarship provider. The annual Rotary Central Bill Ruby Science Fair is back. Saturday, April 22nd at the Ark Recreation Center, Camana Bay. A universe of science, invention, innovation, experimentation, botany, medicine, robotics, engineering. So much imagination, so much science. Your children, our children. The next Nikola Tesla, the next Albert Einstein, the next Stephen Jobs, budding climate scientists, maritime scientists, engineers, biomedical engineers. Hear them talk, see them show you how. The 16th Annual Rotary Central Science Fair, Saturday, April 22nd at the Ark Recreation Center, Camana Bay. This event is free to the public. Rotary, all that you can imagine.
They say you only live once. I say you only die once, but you live every day. I'm Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, longtime supporter of Radio Cayman. Live your life, my friends. Happiness is in the journey, not the destination. When you're ready, I'm here to support you with the best financial decisions for your family's future. Cayman Insurance Center, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future. I'm Michael Webster, the sure way to protect your family. Call me when you're ready at 925-5433. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets.
Think life insurance. More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture. Tap into your roots. More Than Words bookstore in the Thompson Building. Supplies local books, gifts, trinkets, keepsakes, wall plaques, and journals. The hub for local authors. More Than Words. So much more. More Than Words is now open. Shop number 4, second floor, Thompson Building. Or call 936-5544.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
I tell you what, I need to find a way to bring my electricity costs down. I don't want to see another high bill next month.
Have you tried doing an energy audit?
A what?
An energy audit. The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Oh yeah? I'm going to log on to that website right now. What was it again?
Visit energy.gov.ky to download do-it-yourself energy audits for your home or business. There is even a fun activity guide for kids.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costylest, and Foster's.
Visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. We have about 6 minutes before we go to our 8 o'clock news. I want to remind you the phone lines are open, but I would suggest that you call in if you want to call after the 8 o'clock news, but we do have a caller now, so we will accommodate that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. I hope you had a wonderful Caymanian Easter.
Good morning, Doc. I did, and I hope you had the same as well.
Well, yes, I did. You know, I am always Easter. But I mean, the little 6 minutes, I'll probably also call back afterwards.
Excellent, because we're gonna have an open line all morning today. So, but go right ahead, talk as much as you can within the time period.
Well, I mean, OC, I've been following the situation there with the Amateur Athletic Association, and as you know, I was Minister of Sports for a while, and a lot of people don't remember that I was the one who assisted in the regeneration of the Amateur Athletic Association back in 1978. We received, the National Council of Voluntary Organization received $10,000 from the Canadian Development Fund, and we used $5,000 to buy the first van to transport the children from the Lighthouse School, and we used...
What year that was, you say, Doc? What year?
1978.
78? Okay.
Yeah. We used the remaining $5,000 we gave the boxers $2,500 and the Amateur Athletic Association $2,500 to rebuild it. And I participated in the rebuilding of both the Amateur Boxing Association, or Boxing at that time, and the Amateur Athletic Association. We had Winston Skinner and Mr. Hanson, Teacher Hanson, Doreen's former husband.
Yes.
And we had Claude Miles, we had Clyde.
Fred Hansen was his name. Fred Hansen, yeah.
Yes, and we had Clyde from West Bay. Remember, he worked with planning. And some other people, but Claude Miles was very instrumental. He gets forgotten for this, but he was very influential in the rebuilding of the Amateur Athletic Association. There are people today that are discussing the association, but they do not know. I was the first one to go to the Carifesta. I went to Carifesta, the first Carifesta we ever went with. The Ola Monteith was there. I could tell some jokes about it. Miss Lucy Seymour was there. We forget about people because we're not a collective community. We don't have a collective consciousness, so we're always starting from the beginning. And many of the people that are criticizing what happens in the association today do not realize that what happens in the association today happens in every institution in the Cayman Islands, because it lacks identity and cohesiveness and therefore purpose. The purpose of the Amateur Athletic Association was to build the athletic potential of the Cayman Islands. People living here, and there was great potential back then. You remember the barefoot runners like that?
Yes.
And we were, I can remember Goodman Powell and his running in our days at school, and all of that. We've always had this potential. Linford Pearson and all those types of people.
You're drifting off, Doc.
I said what happened to every generation is they forget about the past. And they always start anew. Every day is new. There is no continuity in this country. When I made my remarks about what was going on in the Amateur Athletic Association presently, maybe 2 months ago or something like that, I get the criticism about my ego. Well, my ego definitely is there, because without the ego, we would not be able to survive. But I have always put purpose first, country first. And whoever wants to debate that and make decisions about that and say I was no good and this and that, and I'm no good and this and that, that's their business. I have a value for myself. I do not need them to be able to evaluate me, but they can. I am saying that we do not try to solve problems collectively, but we always try to find people to blame for the problems we experience in our organizational behavior and form. We
have about 30 seconds left, Doc.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to call you back because I think it is necessary for people to understand where Daryl Murray is coming from and how early he's coming from that, the dedication that he's given to it, and all the people that have created the structures in order for these athletes to now be able to perform internationally. And we're always trying to just push people down, but we never hear people talking about the past because they have no knowledge of it, and giving credit to the people who have done things.
And that truism, Doc, that in order for you to know where you're going, you have to know where you're coming from, and you have to know how you're going to get to the next point as well. So, where you're coming from, if you don't know that, then, you don't have a clear path in terms of where you want to go. Doc, thank you very much. Look forward to you calling back as well. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Price Right is 8 o'clock.
At Priced Right, spending less on everyday products is easy.
Spend less on tools and automotive products.
Good deals on groceries and meat.
Electronics, TVs, Bluetooth speakers, and more.
Spend less on home cleaning products.
At Priced Right, we believe you can live, play, and love better for less.
To start saving, visit us in the Airport Center in Georgetown or at Republic's Plaza in West Bay.
Or shop online to KY. Live better for less at Priced Right.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Cayman records $4 million worth of seized recovered drugs in 2022. More from Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego.
According to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service's annual Crime and Traffic Statistical Report, over the course of 2022, various drugs were seized by the RCIPS in separate or joint investigations here in the Cayman Islands. Nearly 2,915 pounds of ganja with a conservative estimated street value of just over 2.9 million CI dollars. There were 16 seizures of 1 pound or more up to just over 940 pounds. There were 6 occasions of 150 pounds being seized. Nearly 123 pounds of cocaine recovered during operations or recovered from the beach as wash-up across all 3 islands. A conservative street value of the cocaine is just over 1.1 million CI dollars. There were 7 seizures of 10 grams or more up to 66 pounds. There were 4 occasions of 2.2 pounds to more being seized. During 2022, RCIPS continued to work on various proactive investigations in collaboration with regional partners, which were carried out to prevent drugs reaching the Cayman Islands from elsewhere. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
Red Sky Night kicked off Saturday at the Harkwell Theater. A steady stream of people entered the grounds to peruse the multitude of arts and crafts by local artisans, to relive days of old with the Caymanian village, to take a bite into Caymanian culture at food stands, and to watch various performances of poetry, dance, and song. One of those performances was by the Red Boat Experience. Those melodic tones there coming from Randy Chalette.
All of us were in different groups, right? But when we come together, we form the Red Boat Experience. So we improv, like they have their speciality from Afro-Cuban to, Afro-Caribbean to jazz. But when we come together, we tend to just create whatever comes to mind. And everything is a part of the show.
And you've got a chance this morning to spot something pretty cool as it passes Cayman low in the sky. SpaceX's rocket is launching this morning, the largest and most powerful rocket ever constructed.
It is more powerful than the rockets that sent people to the moon decades ago. Now, when it launches from Brownsville, Texas, in the southeast direction, it should be visible from the Cayman Islands, as it will be burning its second stage as it goes across the north of us.
Astronomical Society President Tyan Miller tells Radio Cayman you'll be able to see the rocket as it moves left to right low across the sky. It will be daylight, so of course no promises, but he says it's a big deal. The launch window is 8 a.m. to 10, but it's expected now at about 8:20. You can watch the launch live at spacex.com. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Danielle Yawowiecka. A prominent critic of President Putin has been sentenced to 25 years imprisonment by a court in Moscow. The journalist and opposition activist Vladimir Kara-Murza played a key role in persuading Western governments to sanction Russian officials for human rights abuses and corruption. The charges are widely seen as politically motivated. London has condemned the jailing of Mr. Kara-Murza, who's a dual Russian-British national, saying it violated the Kremlin's obligations on human rights. The US ambassador to Russia said persecuting people who criticised the authorities was a sign of weakness, not strength. Explosions and gunfire have been reported in Sudan's capital Khartoum, with fighting in the country in its third day. Almost 100 civilians have died in the violence. Saudi Arabia is releasing more Yemeni detainees in a unilateral move that follows 3 days of prisoner exchanges between the warring parties in Yemen's conflict. Around 900 captives have been reunited with their families. Ukraine has warned the programme that allows the export of grain through its Black Sea ports is in danger of being shut down after Russia continued to block inspections. Travellers in Nigeria have been left stranded at airports after aviation workers began a 2-day strike. The fight for better wages has caused flight disruptions in Abuja and Lagos. China's top men's basketball league has thrown 2 leading teams out of this season's competition over suspicions of match fixing. The Shanghai Sharks and the Jiangsu Dragons have also been fined more than $700,000. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Are you tired of waiting in long lines at the pharmacy just to fill a prescription?
If what, child, let me tell you.
Well, now you can save time and money with ValueMed's online prescription service. Visit ValueMed's new website, valrx.com, and click the Refill Subscriptions button. Fill in your information and choose your preferred pickup location. Or email your prescription refills for ValueMed Walkers Road at rx-wr@valrx.com, and for ValueMed in Boddentown, email rx-bt@valrx.com. Say goodbye to the hassle of waiting in lines and hello to the convenience of online prescriptions with ValueMed Pharmacy. Visit valrx.com to place your orders today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store, or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you want to go scuba diving on your vacation, don't bedazzle your wetsuit. And you think you look great, but what you don't realize is that you look like a shiny, scaly fish. And it won't take long for a shark to notice you. Next thing you know, you're busting out every karate move you got. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance and get airlifted out to the closest hospital.
Get coverage for emergency evacuations. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 80 degrees. Relative humidity is 86%. The barometric pressure is 29.93 inches and rising. The wind is light and variable. Overnight low temperature was 75 degrees. Synopses indicate light winds and smooth seas are expected for the next few days due to a weak pressure gradient across the Caribbean. Isolated showers are expected tonight as a frontal trough moves over the northwest Caribbean. Satellite images show a few low-level clouds over the Cayman area. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of afternoon showers, and temperatures will be in the upper 80s today. Winds will be light and variable, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight. Partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be northwesterly at 5 knots or less, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Low tide will be this afternoon at 3 minutes after 2, high tide tonight at 8:17. The sun will set this evening at 6:42 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Wednesday morning.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Hey guys, I got a joke for you. What did one ocean say to the other?
I don't know.
Nothing. It just waved.
I don't get it.
An ocean? It waves to another ocean.
Oceans can't wave. They don't have hands.
What?
How would they even see each other? They don't have eyes either.
Seriously, how are you not getting this?
Oceans aren't even alive. Nothing you said makes sense.
With most claims paid within a few days, we're like a friend that doesn't miss the joke. CG Britcay. Good like that.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving our goals is rewarding, but at times can feel frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, adjust as necessary. Anticipate ups and downs. Often it will be easier to stick to some goals than others, so allow yourself to have some flexibility in your approach and assessment. Continue to dream and adjust the effort to maintain interest and motivation. Ask yourself, is this really my goal? If it is a goal imposed by others, then consider what may be in it for you. Why would you like to do this? There is always the option not to do it. Figure out why you're doing it and then go for it.
Change your thinking and change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. Encourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Top of the morning to you. Let's take a look at traffic. As we look to the Esley Tibbetts Highway, busy traffic heading towards the roundabout and continuing on to North Sound Road. Coming from the east on Shamrock Road just past the Thomason roundabout, and the Linford Pearson Highway traffic is busy. Busy traffic on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. Delays expected. And traffic is busy coming off of Bobby Thompson Way. As we look to downtown Georgetown on Edward Street, traffic is flowing moderately, as well as on Godfrey Dixon Way at Eastern Avenue. From the West Bay four-way stop, traffic looking pretty good. And on Shed Road, moderate flow of traffic. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket. Have a good morning.
When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist. Or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce, all piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh,
delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today. Doing a kitchen renovation? At Granite Express Cayman, we can help you with fresh new kitchen cabinets and countertops in less than 4 weeks. When designing your dream kitchen, it's important to balance timeless features that reflect your personality and design aesthetic. Granite Express Cayman is offering a great package rate for custom-built cabinets, kitchen respray, and kitchen countertops with granite and quartz stone. Call 922-0424 for a free estimate. Granite Express Cayman, friendly service and fast installation. Hurry, offers valid while supplies last. Visit graniteexpresscayman.com.
Every boy, every girl, every mom, every dad, every student, every teacher. The annual Rotary Central Dr. Bill Rudy Science Fair is back. Saturday, April 22nd at the Arc Recreation Center, Camana Bay. A universe of science, innovation, invention, experimentation, botany, medicine, robotics, engineering, and more. So much imagination, so much science. Your children, our children, the next Nikola Tesla, the next Albert Einstein, the next Stephen Jobs, the next George Washington Carver. The 16th Annual Rotary Central Science Fair, Saturday, April 22nd at the Arc Recreation Center, Camana Bay. Proudly sponsored by CUC, the Water Authority, Precision Industries, Foster's, DART. This event is free to the public. Rotary, all you imagine.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Phone lines are open. Like I said, I believe that Dr. McField has just rejoined us again, and I am extremely appreciative for him doing that as well. Doc, good morning. Welcome back.
Yeah, good morning, OC. And I'll just continue to say that when an organization's identity is molded around a few dedicated people because other people will not participate, they just will be spectators once in a while, but always critics. It happens that the people who are central or who have been central in building these organizations always get to blame when there are problems. Mm-hmm. But they've been there all the time, people like Delroy, solving the problems when nobody was interested. And sure, people do their identity become a part of the organization, and they become, or the organization identity become a part of them, because they're the ones that've been there, and they do things their way. When other people come in, and this is why we have in Cayman always a problem with growth. When other people come in because of the generational changes, the differences, and the way they see things, the way they do things, you have a conflict. But the generations also have to realize that our society is not one of continuity. It is broken here and patched back together here and so forth and so on. We make the best of it. But if those of us who must examine it now and decide what will be the ways to repair and go forward, we need to be fair, and we need to stop just calling people names, like people call me names just because I say something. I got a big ego. Well, my reasons for saying this is that I not only was a participant, but I was also an observer of the development of our institutions, cultural and social and athletic institutions in this country. Now, it comes to the point where, yes, there need to be changes. The Minister of Sports needs to become involved in terms of giving his input, because he is very experienced in athletics, and he cares tremendously for the young athletes. Now, we know we need to be doing more for the athletes. We know we need to get money. We have always had problems with the private sector playing the role that the objectives, the sporting objectives, have always defined that the private sector should play. So when government doesn't get all the money, or government doesn't have all the manpower, all the oversight, government gets blamed, ministers get blamed, administrators get blamed. But the society needs to be blamed also, because there needs to be collaboration between the private and the public sector in these types of ventures that benefit all persons in society, not just the athletes, The society is benefiting from the development of these athletes as they are pro-social role models. And we have to stop this name calling and discuss these problems rationally. I really do respect the young lady for her comments and the way in which she went about making them, and I also am saddened by what happened to her. But this is what happens when we turn on each other, victimize each other, rather than trying to understand the specific difficulties which one has in terms of organized behavior.
And also when we allow the internal issues to be aired in the public as well, because in some instances we see where things, if they were handled differently, if they were handled internally, they would not have reached the proportions that they have reached as a result of that. So we have to learn to solve our problems internally as opposed to putting them out in the public domain.
That is so important a point. And again, it goes back to reference. Our cultural references, we have our sense and we have our reference. Our cultural references, when we use our sense, is always to demonize. And so many of us pick the Mile Road mentality to solve our problems on the Mile Road rather than solve our disputes or challenges at the table, discussing how we can improve.
And just for clarity, you mean the literal Mile Road, right?
No. We know what a Mile Road is. We know what a Mile Road is. We grew up before.
Yes,
that.
precisely, yeah. The Mile Road with all the potholes as well, going with it.
I remember the potholes on that road. And so I think that what I'm suggesting is that, sure, we all get angry and we burst out, we say this, we feel humiliated and we become defensive. But at the end of the day, when things are calm, what we're looking for really are solutions in terms of going forward. And I think this is a good wake-up call for the minister to use his expertise that he acquired in the sports department and being involved with young people in athletics to say, okay, this institution called sports is important in any society. We go back to Greek society, and different things like that. We know what Olympics means. We know the important thing that sports have to do with worship. It's a form of worship. It's a form of recognition of the achievements of the individual in society, which means it's a plus for the society and so forth and so on. But most of our people are intolerant because they don't know the meaning of why government spend resources in this area. Look at the way forward that swimming has come since my ministry, when we put so much into it. And these are the things. I don't need people to believe that my ego is so big that I need recognition from the Cayman Islands people. I'm not seeking recognition from the Cayman Islands people. When Graham Rankin, Lord Graham, said that I purchased Furtherlands Farms, I was the minister responsible. Dr. Mary Lawrence came to me with the idea, and I took up on it. And we got that now. It's there. A lot of people were talking about what could be done, but it had to be purchased. It had to be brought back into the hands of the people. Yeah. I did it. The battered women house, they just had a functions not too long ago. I was the one, as minister, who purchased that. I worked with Estella. Estella worked in my ministry. I saw the house. It was across from where I was living on Templewood Street.
Temple,
now,
and that's the late Estella Scott you're
Scott,
talking about,
yes.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and because I told her, I said, look, I'm going to get you something. This is needed, but you can't have one with a swimming pool and this and that, which was what the designs were at that particular time. I said, let us be practical. Let us start, because if we start, we can go forward. I had them name it after Long, Celia, and that name never comes out again because she was a black slave who portrayed what I believe I portray. That we are stubborn about what is right. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And I'm not going to budge on these particular things. They never invited me because they have their own definition of me. And this is what happens in the public in the Cayman Islands on the Mar Road, with that type of mentality. So all I'm saying is you don't have to put people up on a pedestal like Delroy, but you have to recognize what he did.
The contributions,
you don't have to put his contribution. You don't have to put Claude Miles there, but you got to realize what Claude Miles has done for sports in this country. You understand? So why is it because he's not running to people, licking their feet, and asking them to nominate him to be recognized, that there are not people out there that are willing to say, let us recognize Claude Miles. We went in 1979 and participated in the Commonwealth Games for the first time in Edmonton, Alberta. If it was not for Claude Miles' relationship with Joel Bond at that particular time, we would not have gotten the finances to go there, because the government had promised, Thomas Russell had promised, that we would be financed to get there. Linford Pearson had promised, but the government had no money. And at the end of the day, if the private sector did not see an interest in the publicity they would get from Cayman being there, then we would not have gotten there. And Claude Miles have to be thanked for the fact that we attended the first Commonwealth Games in 1979.
And you were doing that when it wasn't fashionable, like it is now, to be involved in some of these things. And recognizing that many people who are involved, or all, I would say all or almost all, are involved because of their passion and their dedication. But some people do it just simply for the exposure that they're receiving as well. And you did it, and Claude Miles did it, and others did it when it really wasn't fashionable.
That's right. And I get my recognition out of the fact that I was a boxer, and I enjoyed it. I trained Dale Ramon in the angling. It wasn't Didi, that Dalmini Banks that did that. I did that because I was a boxer. I boxed at Commonwealth gym in St. George, Staten Island. And I was going to be going to the Golden Gloves, but I decided not to pursue it. So, but the point that I am trying to make is, if they would look back at the record with these older people that have done things, and rather than dismissing them as being irrelevant, maybe they'll get some wisdom from them, people like Claude Miles, in terms of going forward. And the point that I really wanted to get to this morning, really in this whole point, in this whole debate, is that somebody has to become the person who leads this type of mediation and discussion, because the young people also have to realize that the older people might not be willing to give them the kind of technical training, but there's a lot of mental training that goes into athletics as well. People's minds have to be prepared, not just their bodies. I think that is something that is lacking from our sport program. We have many times young people come in with raw ability, great raw talent, but psychologically and sociologically, they're not structured properly. If they became aware of some of their own problems, they might be able to improve faster and adjust better in the athletic training, and therefore it would be so difficult for coaches, because sometimes we're blaming coaches for things that coaches are not responsible for, because you remember the coach is not the parent. But the child should accept that the coach is the master, therefore the parent in a substituted role.
Right.
And so we need to have the psychologists around the athletics, and we'll get more out of the athletes at the end of the day. So there are all these things that they need to begin to think about. They need to have a holistic approach to the development of sports, and that would be much more productive than us just criticizing which person is to be victimized this time.
Excellent, Doc. Thank you. I want to thank you. Thank you very much for that contribution as well. We do have another caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return from this commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and respiratory illnesses are among the top causes of death in Cayman every year. From June 3rd until July 31st, the Ministry of Health and Wellness will conduct the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey to better understand the prevalence of non-communicable diseases within our nation. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps to learn more.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No callers here yet, Miss Susan. Okay, we have several things here that let's do this one because this person actually sent in something earlier last week as well, and the person wanted us to mention the subject of work, WRC, and them not refunding their fees in a timely manner. Much less never refunding them at all. The person says that they have discovered this is a huge issue that is not being investigated. The person says that they personally know, including themselves, over 4 persons who have been waiting for months and years for their refund check. They say that they spoke to an immigration consulting company, and the advice that they gave them was to get in line and never give up the fight. The opine that this is not how government is supposed to function in theory. They work for the people, not to mention it's a refund of one's own money. The person says when you check into it, you will discover that it is a massive problem as well. Well, I think it is something that should be looked into. We know now we have a new minister for labor as well. And for CBC, it is important for that minister to familiarize himself with the portfolio responsibilities that he has and the departments that fall under his purview. Familiarize himself with them. Find out what their issues are, what the problems are as well. What you don't want to happen in this particular case, because folks, it has happened before, and we know that when incidents do occur, that is sometimes when we try to close the gate after the horse has bolted. But we know that there have been irregularities in several government departments when it comes to handling of monies. What we don't want to happen is that at some point in time someone discovers that there is some irregularity going on as far as the refunding of monies to customers who are entitled to it. So my foolish advice would be, let's nip this in the bud. If work does not have sufficient resources to deal with the refund problem, then why don't we assign more resources for that to occur? People need their money. Government is not paying them any interest on their money, just like other companies, utility companies, and I don't think that they give you any interest on your deposits as well. Not sure, I could be wrong, but you're not getting any interest from government whenever you're owed fees. Let's say, for instance, you pay for a work permit fee, but the person has not worked for the length of time, and you're entitled to a portion of that refund. You're not getting any interest on that. So my advice is, let's look into this before it rears its ugly head and you find out that there's some shenanigans going on as far as refunds are concerned. We see things happen all the time in the private sector. You see, accountants and accounting clerks and stuff producing invoices for non-existent companies or companies that have been established simply for their benefit and funneling money to those. Not saying that this is what is happening, but it could happen. So let's look into what is occurring as far as work is concerned and as far as their ability to refund deserving customers monies to them. If there are not sufficient resources there, let's put those resources in place. So, incoming minister, one of those things that you want to inquire immediately, find out from your chief officer what's happening in that regard. Let's address it. We do have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hey, good morning, OC. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you, my friend?
I am pretty good, my friend. I hear you sidekick on there with you this morning. But anyway, I was hoping that he wanted so he could hear this topic that I got.
Okay. Yeah. Short notice this morning. We had some changes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just want to mention something this morning, OC, because the people here in the block are distorted from this issue that is arising with the people here today. I don't know what to call it, but all I can say is we lost everything. They took everything from us. Now they even turned to us with the water, OC. The people in the block can't get water. It takes them 1 week to get their water.
Okay, but you did hear the managing director of Water Authority came on call in on Friday, and they also issued a press release outlining what their difficulties are and what they're doing to resolve it, and asking for people's patience and understanding.
But that is exactly why I'm calling in regards of that.
Okay.
The first part of that situation, was now going in. This was the second week. It going in the first week. When the people wanted calling for water, there was no explanation given, and it was handled in I would call it a dog world matter, where it seems like no one had any respect in order for the people that was calling in regards of ordering their water.
Mm-hmm.
If the solution was dealt with from the beginning with proper information, people would have not felt the way that they did when they called and had to wait a week to get their water due to whether emergency or not.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't given no explanation. We wasn't given no information regarding they had leaks or they had issues with the pumps, and they didn't say nothing, and they just left us hanging for 1 week to get our water. And that is what happened, and that is what caused the people to get so frustrated, knowing that a lot of people that called was down to the last 100 gallons and had to wait 1 week to run 100 gallons of water in a week, and then people started panicking.
Mm-hmm. Do they have
they started panicking.
Yeah. Do they have a customer service department over in Cayman Brac as well for Water Authority, or are you just dealing with the persons who operate the plant and deliver?
You're just dealing with the ladies, the people that are in the office itself.
Okay.
And they were telling people that the information came from Grand Cayman. This was last week now that they started saying this, but by then the people was already frustrated because there wasn't no explanation for what was happening, and that's what I was concerned about, because if they had explained it before Friday, the people would have long understood, and the people would have settled down and say, okay, I can understand the fact of them having issues. I can try to pinch my water. But there was no explanation given to the people, and that caused a problem.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I said earlier this morning that it is important for public entities, as well as in the private sector, to do it as well, to get in front of these situations, get out there early rather than being reactive, be proactive.
Yes, that is so true. I had to mention one thing regarding someone was speaking some days ago about, I heard I think it was on the other talk show, about the clearing of the trees with properties,
Mm-hmm.
And they have this group of planting, trying to replant Cayman. There should be some sort of planning law that when you buy a property, you can tear down the brush to get your place clear, but the mature trees, should not be torn down, unless it's a fig tree that serves no purpose but just destruction of your cesspool and your foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They should have some law put down, some regulation put down, and they can plant back all they want, but how much generations it got to take for that tree to come back? It got to take 15, 20 years for that tree to mature. 5, 10, 15, 20. It depends on the type of tree it is. I know when you plant a hardwood tree like, let's say, ironwood or mahogany, it takes about 10 to 12 years for that tree to mature.
Yeah, or maybe even longer sometimes, yeah.
It depends on the water source, and I don't understand why it is that people, you hear them forming organizations, you hear them doing this, they're doing that, but there comes a point in time where they have to say planning, have to put rules and regulations down that you cannot eliminate the trees in the country to deplete the purity of the air, because this time of year we can start preparing, because that dust is coming down off of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the trees to pollute that dust in the air, So where does it land? It starts with somewhere, and someone has to start speaking up regarding these things. They can't sit down and wait till we suffocated by the dust coming off Africa, whatever the circumstance may be, in order for these things.
Okay.
Just one more thing.
Sure. Go right ahead.
Because I promised him to speak on it. Mr. Raymond, it's a sad situation. Being in his, I feel kind of sad for him in his situation, in a way, because the government has reject and neglect that man for the work that he has done all these years in keeping our oceans safe, keeping these ships from running into dry land, especially here on this Brock with that lighthouse. It's sad to know that he does all he do so late hours in the morning and so forth, and there's no officials, no help from the government. Nobody even stops and talk with that man to say that they got to do their best to try to help him in a sense to maintain his equipment in order to keep these waters safe. Our government formed, and I'm not got nothing against the OC, I hope the people don't get me wrong. Our government formed a Coast Guard system in this country, and I think they should have implemented some part of his system into that in order to keep this service running in our country, to keep us safe from harm of any of these ships. Because once them ships run ashore and they break a spill or whatever, we are in serious issues in our waters. These things are a necessity, and the things that is not a necessity is what it bases on in this country.
So is he looking for compensation, or is he looking for some assistance in terms of upgrading his equipment so that he can continue to do the voluntary work that he is doing?
I don't think he's looking for compensation. I think he's just looking for the help to maintain his equipment in order, because those radios, those scanners, those things cost a lot of money. He's making something out there to keep his family fed, but not enough to keep everything running. And I think the government should at least come in and try to give him as much assistance as he can in order for that.
Okay, so, I hope they're listening, and keep the pressure on your representatives in the sister islands as well. To see what assistance they can offer. We know that often people say, well, we can't offer personalized service to people, but I think that there are always exceptions to the rule, and especially in this case where the public, the individual is providing a public service in the public interest as well. Caller, thank you very much for that. We have to go to a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have another caller on hold. But before we go to that caller, just to follow up on what our last caller spoke about in terms of vegetation and ensuring that certain types of trees are maintained, are kept on properties, especially when they're not being developed. I notice that sometimes these real estate companies, when they have the for sale sign, they for some reason believe that a property becomes more attractive when it is cleared rather than leaving the vegetation. One good example of that would be in the Old Man Bay area, and I cross it at least 2 times on a Sunday when I'm cycling on the seaside in Old Man Bay going towards the monument on Queens Highway. There's a property there for sale. I think they have established a swing. I don't know if they have sort of like temporarily turned it into a park, but the whole area has been cleared. Now that is a part of the island where the vegetation will help to control storm surge in the event that we have, a storm or a hurricane and it is coming, from the north. If it is only to quote unquote make the property more attractive to a buyer, that really is defeating the whole purpose of the vegetation. So if we don't have legislation in place that prevents that from happening, maybe that is something that needs to be looked into as well. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. We're going to grab you in a second as soon as we get back to the controls. Caller, hang in there. We will be taking your call in a second. Meanwhile, I would point out that last week you heard us talk here in the studio about CARICOM and Cayman's involvement in CARICOM, although we're only an associate member of CARICOM. And we see where there is the inaugural regional security conference that is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago this week. I'm not sure whether or not the Cayman Islands is participating, whether or not we're participating in that conference, but it talks about regional security and a release from the Office of the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Andrew Holness says that the CARICOM conference comes as the region grapples with heightened transnational criminal activities. The Security Summit will address crime and violence as a public health issue and will be staged under the theme, The Crime Challenge. None of us is safe until all of us are safe. And we are part of the region. We are part of that. We have seen, for instance, now more drug trafficking coming out of the English and the Dutch-speaking parts of South America, namely Guyana and Suriname. We have seen headlines in the Cayman Islands where persons traveling from there have been found with drugs. Last week, we saw where several were arrested in Jamaica, transiting, I believe it is, to either the UK or to the US as well. So it is a regional problem. My question is whether or not we're participating in that. We just saw the crime statistics for 2022 issued by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. One disturbing note that I have about that in relation to the gun crimes and the number of firearms they did give us figures on that, but what I haven't seen in that report yet, and I'm not saying that it isn't there because I only browsed through it, but we didn't see a comparison to previous years in terms of the number of firearms used in crimes, the number of firearms seized, whether or not the 2022 statistics are higher than the 2020 or 2021, and they don't want to put that out there. My question is, let's see what's happening there. But we know that here in the Cayman Islands, we are facing and we experience some of the same issues that our regional brothers and sisters are experiencing as well. And we know that it will infiltrate our borders. It has, and it will continue to do so. So we are part of this. We need to become more and more involved in it. We don't need to stand, aside as a silent partner. We need to be active in this conversation as well. Just my thoughts. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Orrett.
Good morning. Good morning.
This is Tracy. I'm calling from the Brack. I called you Friday, but I only had 2 minutes before I got cut off. But I just want to make the public know, and the politicians and the top management of Water Authority, we have a serious problem here on the Brack.
Mm-hmm.
They have extended the pipeline from the plants outside all the way to watering place. Now the demand is so much that they cannot produce enough water to keep the truck customers supplied.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
caller, are you there? That caller, the call was dropped, not on our side. Hopefully, the caller will call back. No fault of our own. Let's grab another caller before we go to the break. We have about 4 minutes. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Mario Ebanks, how you doing?
Morning. I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Oh, okay. I know you say you had an open line this morning, so I want to just call in and share a couple of things. I hope that I get a couple of minutes in before your next break.
We have 4 minutes.
Okay, that should suffice.
Okay.
Just wanted to have a quick few thoughts about immigration reform and work.
Mm-hmm.
I know that some time ago I had the representatives, Mr. Scott and his team from work in the studio talking about the plans and about the temporary permit advertising, etc., which has since been
revoked. Yeah.
Revoked, which I believe that was due to the fact that it's going to be a tremendous amount of work for them for our WORC department to handle, and so it would not, we're not really ready for it, which I can see. Plus, there's going to be a tremendous strain on small businesses as well. And I think you've been in immigration and in government for a long time. That I think one of the main reasons why people use temporaries is because it takes a long time for full-time permits, annual permits to be approved, and that's due to systemic problems. And also, some people, of course, use temporaries as a means of getting around advertising and getting around scrutiny for work permits because they want to beat the system. So there's some who do that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that obviously we were making everybody suffer for those that we should be cracking down on and closing down if necessary. But what I want to talk about is the issue of Caymanians being able to, job seekers being able to access and register and apply for jobs on the work job portal, Jobs Cayman, I think it's called, on their website.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, there was this time when jobs were required to be advertised in the local newspapers for 2 weeks before the
all right, 2 times a week for 2 consecutive weeks. Yeah.
Right. Before the permit application was put in. That was then replaced by the advertising on the jobs portal, on the website of immigration, and then advertising in the newspapers and other media was optional. So what's happening now, in my opinion, is that people are not advertising in the newspapers. They are putting a post on the jobs portal many Caymanian job seekers, especially the entry-level ones and middle management and others, are not seeing those posts on the website. There's a requirement for them to be registered to be able to search and to apply via the jobs portal. And again, I don't know why that should be a case. I still can't understand the rationale for that.
Caller, I'm going to interrupt you and invite you to hold on to the line. We're going to go to our headline news, and when we come back, I will be able to afford you a little extra time, even though we have other callers on hold, so that you can finish your train of thought as well. You want to do that?
I do.
Okay. Folks, top of the hour headline news. When we return, the conversation will continue, so please stay tuned.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Spread the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
The West Bay West MP is tabling a motion in the House asking government to build a new high school for his district. The motion asks that consideration be given for the inclusion of funds in the upcoming budget for the planning process. The House is expected to next meet on April 26th. Rising sports star Phil Dowdell has been named as one of the victims in a mass shooting at a teenager's birthday party in Alabama at the weekend. At least 4 people were killed at the party on Saturday and 28 more injured, some critically. Police have not said whether a suspect is in custody. The city's local pastor told the BBC the gunman was still at large and urged him to turn himself in. And opposition activist Vladimir Kara-Murza has been sentenced to 25 years in jail in Russia for charges linked to his criticism of the war in Ukraine. He was found guilty of treason, spreading, quote, false information about the Russian army and being affiliated with, quote, undesirable organizations. The Russian-British former journalist and politician is the latest of several Putin opponents to have been arrested or forced to flee Russia. He has denied all of the charges. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
The headline news are brought to you by Health Services Authority.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA's Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the Record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We still have one caller on hold, and the caller that we lost earlier had called back, but we're going to encourage him to call in. I would say, okay. So we're going to finish with this call, Mr. Mario. I'll give you an opportunity to complete your thoughts.
Thank you. I was saying before we took a break that we had the issue with the Caymanians applicants being able to effectively use the avenue of the jobs portal to look for jobs or to apply for jobs on the work website, and some of the issues with that. The whole immigration reform subject is a huge one, which hopefully I'll get a chance to talk about one of these days on your show extensively, because there's so many issues to be talked about, not just operational, but policy-wise and in relation to the whole TR issue and that recent ruling, and all those kind of things that need to be fleshed out, because those are serious priorities that need to be addressed. Anyway, going back to this operational issue with the Caymanians being able to apply and be taken seriously or being recognized as applicants in the jobs portal, what's happening is that Caymanians and people resident who are seeking to, particularly Caymanians, job seekers, are being, in my view, disenfranchised with the current system because they're not seeing the ads in the newspapers as they used to see them, which is required. They're now relying on a jobs portal that you need to be registered to access, and you need to apply for jobs. You got to be registered, and there's a lot of technical issues with the site. Sometimes it freezes up, I'm told, and people go in and start to work on it, and they get dumped out from the site. So it needs to be addressed. There's some technical issues, but what's happening is that some organizations, especially the big organizations in the financial services sector and the more sophisticated organizations, they also have their own recruitment portals, and they use a lot of AI, artificial intelligence, to screen applicants, and sometimes a person does not really, a live person doesn't actually see the material. It's done by AI, which is a complex growing phenomenon involving algorithms and stuff that actually try to do what human beings can do. But what's happening is that some of these organizations, Mr. Connor, are using their own portals. Those portals are not linked to the Jobs Cayman portal at all. So individuals may apply to, may see a listing on the jobs portal and work. It then directs them to that organization, whichever form it is, and then you apply via their portal, which is LinkedIn or which their own Bamboo HR or whatever they're using, right? Now, when these people apply, Caymanians apply, there's no tracking of who applied or what. And later on, if that employer goes in for a work permit, then they may say no Caymanians applied, and so there's no way of verifying that. The board members have to take the word of those employers, and the employers may not necessarily be dishonest, although some are, but because of using the artificial intelligence, they're only saying what their portal is telling them, that no suitable applicants applied. So Caymanians.
But does that have to do with the fact that they're mandated to advertise on Jobs Cayman, and at the end of the day, while they have other options available to them, they must advertise on Jobs Cayman. So, in a way, they're not being untruthful. They're just not telling you the whole truth, where someone may have applied on, like you said, on a different portal. So they're only responding to the Jobs Cayman portal.
The loophole is this, that they're applying. Somewhat as a facade, because they maybe put a listing on the Jobs Cayman portal, but there's no verification or no audit as to whether any suitable individuals applied to that site or who they are.
No,
right?
no. I think the administration at work can tell whether or not there were any applications done through the Jobs Cayman portal. I think that there is a verification process there.
I am told by practitioners who use it is that the employer has to tell the Jobs Cayman folks whether they have an applicant or not. So they get these referrals, but if the employer doesn't say so, the Jobs Cayman folks don't.
But
don't know any different.
But if you apply through the portal.
No, but what I'm saying to you, once you go to the employer's portal, there's no longer any connectivity with the Jobs Cayman portal. So
I understand. I understand that. Yeah, I understand that.
There's some loopholes.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you to wrap up for me because we have other callers on hold.
You need not defend this because this is a serious matter. That if we don't get it,
I'm not defending it. Not defending it at all. There are loopholes there, and they need to be addressed. One of the faults with the system is that when we decided that we're going to use Jobs Cayman as the verifying portal, as the one that the government is going to rely on in terms of applications, that's where we fell on our face.
Because we did not have all the ducks lined up with that system, we have all these loopholes and this soft underbelly.
Yeah.
And so people are being marginalized, and unless we get it sorted out, a lot of people, including many Caymanian young people, professionals and college graduates that are getting disenfranchised, are going to rise up and cause some serious problems in this country. That's why I am reaching out to say work And the Ministry of Immigration and Labour needs to look at this thing seriously because it is a problem, and the Caymanian job seekers need to be given the opportunity, and the board members, and I know you're a board member as well, so I got to be careful with this. The board members can only make decisions based on information that they have, and if they don't have information, they go by what they're given because they're all volunteers.
Or they can request additional information if they're not satisfied. Caller, I'm going to ask you to leave us there so that we can accommodate the other callers. Thanks very much for that, and we need to have an extensive conversation on this issue as well. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. A few little things here, not little, is big things. First, we were talking earlier about Mr. Scott, Raymond Scott.
Uh-huh.
I think that gentleman is being really treated very unfair. I mean, the years that he have put into this thing, and yeah, definitely, I think he should be compensated, and he should have some of the most sophisticated equipment if it's necessary. Another point, we're moving from that, going to containers. How can you have construction companies and other companies bringing in containers, as I understand it, and they are housing their workers in containers? What's really going on in this little island? Can you quantify how many police we brought in here when we had that influx of Cuban refugees, 14 or 1,500 from England?
Several dozen.
Good. Well, let me put the margin straight now, what I'm saying. I'm not saying about Cubans, but in general, we could use several dozen of those same police coming here with people that are able to identify with detective experience and clean this place out, because we are not able to handle it by ourselves. You got people of all walks of life into this country, and nobody seems to care, okay? That needs to be taken in serious attention. Another one is this, radars. We're talking about the Coast Guard and this and that and the other. How many years have we been asking the government and the authorities that be to get a proper radar system? That would be half of your problem solved. But it seems to be falling on deaf ears, okay? The last point I want to make is about car sales. You got people in this country that are under permits, working permits of all categories, I assume. They make their boast that they're not really bothered about how much they paid by the employer, because what they make off of selling cars into this island, it is enormous amount of money. Then we talk about building more roads into this country when you got all of these illegal people flooding this place with automobiles. OC, tell me what's happening, Bo? Tell me.
Yeah. There are things that certainly need to be addressed. The container one, that obviously is a planning issue, and whether or not I saw on some social media platform photographs of some containers that were mounted on bricks or something, and whether or not they're actually used for housing people, I'm not sure, but it is something that we really don't need to have in the Cayman Islands. As far as crime and drugs concerned, I remember the days, and some people may say, well, we don't want foreign involvement in the Cayman Islands, but the Drug Enforcement Agency in the U.S. used to have operatives here in the Cayman Islands infiltrating the local drug trade, because the local drug trade has a connection with the international drug trade as well. There was a point in time in Cayman when we prided ourselves and we said, oh, Cayman is only a transshipment point. The drugs don't stay here. Well, we know otherwise now that drugs come directly to the Cayman Islands for use in the Cayman Islands, as well. But we need more than our local faces to infiltrate if we're going to address the drug problem, to which the gun running problem is closely associated with as well.
I want to commend you on that, what you're saying about bringing in outside intervention, because I will say so publicly. We have law enforcement people that they are dead standing in an upright position. It is time that we shake this off and open our mouth and say, what's going on in this country? Like what the guy said when Kennedy got shot. He said, what the hell is going on back there? Well, I would say, what the hell is going on in this country? It is such a close, secretive jaw lock that people are saying nothing. They feel it, but they'll call me over the phone or see me in a supermarket or on a shade tree and talk about it. What's wrong with us that we don't have the cojones to say, look, you need to do better or get off the pot, man? I mean, this is ridiculous. Then you're talking about, of course, guns. It's going to be so prevalent in here. It's going to be like other places if we're not going to nip it in the bud. About the trees, we've been talking about that ever since Adam and Eve, about the vegetation. Who you going to? Nobody can say, well, this is our portfolio, this is what we're going to do, right? That is why they hell-bent not to have a district council, because they will be told what they can do and what they can't do. That's how it goes. So I got to leave you with that little piece and hopefully have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. You do the same as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Miss Susan, we still have callers on hold. We have 2 callers on hold. Callers, hang in there. Quick commercial break. When we return, we will take your call, so please stay tuned.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Ensuring your existing appliances and equipment are cleaned and maintained regularly is an easy way to improve energy efficiency in your home.
Have your air conditioning equipment serviced by a professional. Make sure bathroom and kitchen exhaust fans and refrigerator coils are cleaned regularly, because the harder your appliances have to work, the higher your bills will be.
The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costyless, and Foster's.
To learn more, visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Tune in Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the Daily Sports Report, covering local, regional, and international sports. Proudly brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record. with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. We are going straight to the phone lines. We have 3 callers on hold, so I wanted to say to each caller, bear in mind someone is waiting behind you as well. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Not too bad. In regards to Mr. Murray, events a few minutes ago, some of the things that he was talking about, they've been resting on my soul as well too. So I'm glad that he started this conversation on the majority of those things. But I want to hear in the government a little bit this morning. I hope you give me the opportunity to. Or say you know that we got the members come into the radio from various radios from time to time. And also in the government, self-praise is not recommended in nowhere in this world. And I just want to say today that sometimes you don't even know when you're insulting your people who's calling and ask you a question or suggesting something to you, the person's tone of voice or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But what I just want to say this morning is that no self-praise, please, government. And I just want to say that the things that they're there to work for us. And if they can't help us solve our problems, why do we have a government that say that they are there for us? We put them in and they're working for us. They put them in various departments, and then they turn around and say that their hands are still tied. So what is the purpose of having a government, period? You understand where I'm coming from? I'm just talking. You don't have to input anything.
Okay.
Running my mouth.
Okay.
So I just wonder, why do we have a government and why do we have people in various departments? And when you reach out to them for help, they still cannot assist you in any way, because then the other department in that department already set it how it's going to be, and it can't be changed. So why put some funds from the government and give them a position, and their positions means nothing for the people out here in this island? OC, our government, past and present and future, as far as I'm concerned, we may not have need any government in this island, because then everybody's doing their own thing, and the few that wants to help to get things right in this island, we are being pushed aside and marginalized, and everything you could think of when they are ready to push us one side. And OC, I'm talking about jobs. I cannot understand how someone can go in a rollover and still come back here and their job is being held to them. That makes it impossible for who's here to get that job or whatever the case may be. And it's not fair. If they want them to work overseas while they're over there, they want and they stay over there, that's their business. Now, why take them away for a year and then bring them and sit them right back in the chair and give the work to the staff that is in the office, putting the load on them until this individual come back if they cannot do majority of the work overseas? It is not fair. And if someone gets in a rollover again, they got a husband here or a wife here, they can come back and make 10 trips until that 1 year is up. I don't understand what they're doing. They may better keep the people here, because then it's not making any space for the Caymanians to get a job.
Good point. Good point.
And like that, Mr. Mario said a while ago, I'm not putting no more on my island. I don't want nothing to happen here, but something is coming, because the young people are getting fed up, and they can't feed their families. They can't get a decent job. They can't get, and talk about education. They use that to their platform every 4 years, and they go build a big old expensive school, pay the teachers a big old pile of salary, but yet the children are still coming up uneducated to a degree. And you can't blame everything on the teacher, but you can't blame everything on the parents, because the child has to want to learn too and obey the discipline.
Yeah, everyone has to shoulder the responsibility.
Exactly, And these trailers, Mr. OC, these trailers are popping up left, right, and center on this island. If planning is giving permission to these trailers, let me tell you something. These investors that we got coming here investing, you know what they're going to do after a while? They're going to build us up, and they're going to sell out everything to these Indian, Pakistani, and every nationality who want to come here and buy. And the buildings are already on the ground for them. these investors are going to stay here, we continue doing the things that we're doing. Got one side island pretty, and the other side look like a junk pile. If these people living amongst us and they got Cayman status and they cannot get a home, well, government need to say, well, you know what? I give you status, you cannot afford a home here. It's best we go back to your country. You come and visit whenever you want to, but we cannot allow these trailers and so forth to be built in this country, which we never had before. And these trailers been going up for some time now up in the dump road. They got trailers out there people living in, but they're coming up more now. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw one right here in Newlands, but I got to investigate that a little bit more.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. We're going to try to grab another caller before we go to our next commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Well, I would hope I didn't get behind John, but I'll make it quick.
Got about 6 minutes. Morning. How are you?
Well, see, I had something to call in on, but because of two former callers and John touched on it. Mario first spoke about young people coming back and in his opinion, if they don't get what they want, they'll rise up. We spoke about that before. I also had friends, when I speak about it, said if I'm inciting violence. But no, I'm not inciting no violence, but I told them if they knew that the most intelligent people are the ones who have caused most of the revolution around the world, right? So it's, in my opinion, it's the boards and government official who's doing nothing more than provoking an uprising amongst our people, So that's just a touch on Mario thing, and then Mr. Morgan was speaking about the police and authorities enforcement. I was thinking, see what we should do. We should cancel all Caribbean outside Caribbean officers on the force, all, and bring in Irish and English and Scottish.
Really?
Oh yeah, everyone. right now, and give them an incentive, right? At the end of their contract, they will get compensated a bonus for every Caymanian from school that they have gone and recruited from school or from on the street that they identify on the street that would make a good police officer, and have them alongside them in the force and train them that when they're leaving, those Caymanians just can take up that position and they get a bonus for every Caymanian that they train.
We may not want them from the UK, though, because I don't know if you've seen recently the scandals with the Met Police and, so many officers being terminated there for various reasons and stuff like that. I'm not sure we want to go to that part of the world.
Irish. I don't want English guys. No. I don't want them. Okay? That. All right?
All right.
How much time I got?
2.5 minutes.
Okay. Well, see, I did some research. Back in the day, Mr. Jim Powell used to pay his laborers $12 and $15 an hour. Laborers, his steel workers would make $210 a day, an hour, sometime. But if you work out their contract, right? Back then, we were paying 50 cents, 45 cents for a beer in East End, 45 at Mr. Marston, and between 75 and $1 in town. Cigarettes was 75 cents at 7-Eleven, right? And we could do $2 and get party and drink and a little change. And they were making $12 and $15 an hour. People were leaving, taking a vacation from the bank and going to Treasure Island and working in construction because the pay was so high.
Yep.
Now we're paying $7 for beer, and we're making and they got people down to $6 an hour and $10 for a pack of cigarettes, and $350 if you're lucky at the supermarket for a couple of little items, right? Back then, they didn't pay insurance. They didn't put in
Pensions,
they were taking all that money home with them. So I don't understand what is this? This is voodoo economics again. You know? So how can the prices of the goods go up so high and then the salary come down, and it's only also because of cheap labor, where they can offer the $6 and people will take it. If people didn't take it, they would be forced to continue what the salary used to be back in the day. But
and
because all this cheap labor is available now, that's the case. I know people are paying $8 or what now that they got somebody to work. For $6, they bring it down, but they used to pay $8 before.
And then there's that opportunity. That person may be coming for a $6 an hour job, but at the same time, if you have the ability to import cars and sell them and do all of the other things, you know, then you can certainly complement your $6 an hour job, and we allow those loopholes.
Yeah, because one of the things like
hello, lost the caller. Let's that wasn't our fault either. Let's go to the commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay.
No one can stop me when I taste the
Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and respiratory illnesses are among the top causes of death in Cayman every year. From June 3rd until July 31st, the Ministry of Health and Wellness will conduct the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey to better understand the prevalence of non-communicable diseases within our nation. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps to learn more.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have a few callers on hold still. We're going to take those calls, but we do have emails as well and some WhatsApp messages. Let me share those with you as well. This person says, as far as preserving some of our trees and our vegetation, says that persons should get preservation orders for the large trees before selling the property, or have a covenant on the property to protect such large and old trees as well. And this person wrote and said, regarding your comments on land being cleared and trees that are a natural storm and windbreaker removed, just want to add my little bit. Only last year, I believe, the government declared a national tree planting project. My question is, what's the point of encouraging people to plant a tree on one hand, while trees on other vegetation that are helping to keep our islands safe are being removed by others. So I want to thank that writer or those two writers for their opinions, their comments as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning,
Hello.
caller.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's me again. Just quickly, what Lord Graham was saying about bringing in the police from England and Scotland, and you sort of you wasn't too happy about that.
Yeah, I put a little damper on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd like to say what I can appreciate about the English and the Scottish, they were smart enough, honest enough to go and, sort out these guys that is causing all this corruption. That is the point that I would like to make, because definitely in Cayman, I don't see anything happening that sort out anybody that could be are, shall I say, into the corruption thing. So, yeah, I want to support him. We need a whole generation, a whole new crew on the ship now, because nothing is happening. It is very unsatisfactory what's going on here. What the guy said about the trees, yes. Don't talk about the laws. This is what we need, laws in serious enforcement into this country to take it back like Trump said about taking back America, which he could be right or wrong, but this country certainly need a revival and a big one. OC, thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, as well. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
OC?
Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, OC, good morning, man. Long time no talk to you, man.
Yeah, right here. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Whoa. That's a good deal. Yes, sir. So, I want to ask you a question. You know about any stand-up comedians in Cayman?
Offhand, I don't, but I know that there are many with the potential.
Not sure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wonder why not much of them.
Well, maybe the platforms, and on some social media platforms, you will see it. Depending on the type of comedy that you're looking at. We have one right in the studio here in Radio Cayman who does great performances, as well. But maybe the platform, and if they were on a much bigger, larger stage, they would certainly be much more popular, and would probably have their own, midnight show on television or something.
Yeah, right. But I don't really think so, because remember, say, one thing about comedy is that they try to, try to tell you the truth while they're joking with you, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess so. But it come in like, boy, we got a lot of racist minds still stuck up in here, man. Still stuck on this, supposed to be modern foundation.
Oh, yeah. Some of us will deny it that it's not happening in the Cayman Islands, but it is here, alive and well.
Yes. Those last comments about Irish and British police officers, that must have been a joke. Because I would never want to see one of them, because they yell at you almost for nothing. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like you say, we're not getting into that. But OC, for real, for the traffic, I just gonna say one last thing for the traffic. That's okay?
Sure.
Please, like you have, them days that you work. That same thing could be kind of operated, up in the east. You understand? People from those can kind of work less days or work different. Get more days off.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of give a little break on the traffic. But to consider that now, you would have to probably, readjust the payments, or, time share, or, the time and the pay and all that. You would have to readjust all that, because...
Or what about staggering the time, the work hours, so that not everyone isn't on the road at the same time, trying to get in for that 8:30 or 9 o'clock job?
Yes, and to the schools, you can employ more teachers that probably would like to drive, to the community and have a little, like how you say, like under the Tom Tree kind of thing.
Mm.
Ain't nothing wrong with going back to them days, OC. Some people might think it's uncivilized, but remember, say, If those days wasn't there, we wouldn't get to where we is now. In considering to what I still hearing now, I think we should have never left underneath the tamarind tree. You know, so I'll leave it with that. I would love to step on other things, but have a good day, OC.
Thank you very much, and great hearing from you as well. You take care. Okay, let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. I don't know what happened to my phone, OC.
You paid the bill?
Yeah. Mark and Dennis Pascal got me hooked up direct.
Oh, okay.
I got Wadley and Rhonda. I got good people in position.
Okay.
Can't cut me off. I was saying, OC, and some people will pay $3 an hour, and then they tell the individual that, oh, you'll make tips. You know, they justify the $3 by telling them they'll make tips. And the gentleman that just called and spoke about Under the Tamarind Tree, some of the brightest mind that we have produced, OC came from Under the Tamarind Tree, being educated under the grape tree or whatever you want to call it. Because right now we got sophisticated classrooms, and I'm hearing that we got students coming out of school that can't read and write.
Yeah.
That basically back then was never the case. They stick with you until you knew your ABCs, your whatever it is you had to you had to write essays, and you were being marked and tested on those things. So you had to. But now I'm hearing that we're getting students. I can't believe we're getting students coming out of high school that can't read and write.
Yeah, it's not where you teach; it's what you teach.
Yeah. And then, I mean, your mother was very instrumental in that too, right? Right there at her house.
Yep.
You know, so look at all the great minds that came out of Georgetown that could articulate. Even right at what we call Matilda Corner, you could go down there and hold a really intellectual dialogue with both of the guys. You know, but see, what John was talking about people leaving and going and
the rollover, yeah.
Yeah, I think that 5 year, and then you go for 5 years, that will really put a clamp on that, you know. So some places in the world you work, Singapore and those places, you do one term and you don't go back. At least we'll give you a chance to come back within 5 years. You know, so I think we should be looking into things like that, and our guys, the people, Mario's talk about the new generation rising up and being angry. The people on boards and in positions got to realize that at the end of the day, I don't think that they're gonna be attacking or the people that are here on work permit, but it's the people that are approving.
But bear in mind, the boards can only work with the legislation that they have. They can't make law. And we see more and more people and companies becoming litigious, where they will challenge you in court. So it has to, the responsibility first has to fall at the feet of the policy makers, those who decide what the law is going to be, because the boards...
They're the ones who we can get rid very easily.
Yeah.
They're the ones that we can dispose of.
Yeah.
So they need to stop making excuses and do what they have to do.
Lord Graham,
before I go,
very quickly, because we have one caller that we keep losing, and I want to take him even before we go to the next commercial break, because he's been trying.
That Mr. Kenneth going to have all those solutions on Thursday night.
Well, we're told that we're going to hear several answers to some of the issues that people have, so we're looking forward to that.
Right, we're looking forward to that.
Certainly. Take care.
All right, see you Thursday night.
All right, take care. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Orrett. Tracy, how are you?
Good morning again. I hope we can hold you this time.
Yes, sir. We got a serious water issue on the block here. Thanks to the lack of management, top management from Water Authority and the politician, Mrs. Juliana O'Connor. She's responsible for the Water Authority. We have this island is only 12 miles long, 2 miles wide, and that Water Authority was established in 1984, officially opened by Mr. Linford Pearson, and we still have about 40% of the island that has to be trucked water. This is ridiculous. I ordered water last Wednesday. I'm a red cell backyard farmer. I ordered water last Wednesday, and I was told then that I wouldn't be getting it till tomorrow. I went to the water authority a while ago, the office, told me the same thing. I can only get the amount I ordered last week. I said that's only about half of what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is deplorable, man. This is deplorable. This is bad. I mean,
what do you see as being the solution? What's the answer to address the issue in the BRAC?
The issue in the BRAC is it should never have come to this
No,
point.
I'm looking for an answer, not the issue. We know what the issue is. What's the answer?
Well, I don't know what the answer is going to be, but the politicians need to get off the backside and try to solve this problem.
Mm. What would you like to see happen?
I would like to see water available anytime you need it. And it should be that way, because the pipe water customers have it 24/7.
Uh-huh.
The truck water customers got to wait for days before they get it. If I wasn't careful and stretching out my water in my house, I would have been out of water right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This morning when I checked my tank, I was down to 500 gallons. And if I go under 400, I'm down to the suction line. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And there's no access to individual well water in the BRAC to drill?
The well water around that area by Rebecca Cave area is nothing but you might as well go to the Caribbean Sea.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And everybody knows that. Nobody don't have no well there. They either have a cistern or a tank.
Okay.
When I bought the house 12 years ago, it had a tank. I put another one for irrigation. And right now my 2 tanks need water. And I'm told this morning I will get it tomorrow. But the amount I ordered last Wednesday. What I ordered last Wednesday is to top off my tank. So what they're going to bring tomorrow, if they do bring it, is only going to be half of what I need.
Mm-hmm.
And this is ridiculous. I have 5 accounts with Water Authority.
Wow.
4 of them is for my garage. One of them is my garage and my apartments, which is hooked up to pipe water. But my house where I'm living is truck water. I mean, the whole of the south side going east, the bluff, and from Watering Place to Spot Bay is all truck water customers. So you have approximately about 40% of the customers with the Water Authority is truck water customers.
And how many trucks? How many trucks do they have for delivery?
I think, if I can recall right, I think they have 7 trucks.
Okay.
7 trucks. And my house is not even a mile away from Water Authority. And I had to wait nearly 6 days before I was told I would get water, and I'm sure I'm going to get it tomorrow. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
When have you broached them in terms of what the managing director said that they're working on, and when you talk to the people in the office, have you asked them what progress is being made to increase the capacity, like what has been promised?
Well, I spoke to one of the operators this morning at the Water Authority, waiting for the office to be open down there, and they told me that the problem been existing now, but it's more of a demand on the water. That is why the truck water customers are being neglected. So my idea, I didn't see the manager, Robert Arch, this morning, but my idea was to suggest to him, maybe after 12 o'clock in the night, cut off the pipe. Cut off the water supply with the pipeline, and so to give them chance to build up a volume so the next day they can deliver truck water. Or
the restrictions that they're putting on those persons who have to have their truck delivery, maybe the pipe water people, some restrictions could be placed on them so that you sort of balance things out as well, so that those persons who have to have truck water coming in, will have a little bit more of an opportunity if they were to curtail to some extent those persons who have access to pipe water. Would that work as well?
This gentleman told me this morning, he said the demand is more than what they can supply.
Okay.
And I believe that, because they're up to Watering Place right now, which I'm glad they got it afar. I wish they had it through the whole island, which we should have had pipe water through the whole island a long time ago.
So in terms, I'm hearing some rumbling about the possibility or about demands for a new high school in the BRAC, somewhere in the region of about $50 million high school. If you had a choice in terms of how money was to be allocated, would you be in favor of $50 million on a school or putting some of that money towards other infrastructure projects?
Putting some of that money toward infrastructure demand, because the high school has been operating now where it is now for about 40-odd years. We're turning out good students. They're getting good passes and everything. The problem is putting a new school for that cost. You can do a lot of work. Listen, nobody can live without water. Water is life.
Yeah, it's a human right. Yeah. Access to it is a human right.
If I don't have water in my house to flush the toilet, take a shower, whatever, etc., I can't even water my plants. I'm a registered backyard farmer now for the last 10 years, and I can't water them because of the water problem.
Yeah.
I had to buy water. I had to buy bottle of water, start and go and water my pepper trees to avoid them from dying. That is ridiculous. And Miss Juliana O'Connor need to get this problem solved, not next year, as soon as possible.
Okay.
That is all caused through bad politics, bad top management with Water Authority.
Caller, thank you very much for that. I'm glad that we were able to accommodate you. We know that you tried on several occasions, and we ended up losing your connection. But thank you very much for that. Okay, folks, we have to take a commercial break. We're going to end the callers on hold. We're going to have to still one caller. If we do have a caller, we're going to take that caller after we come from the commercial break, but that will be the last caller because I believe we'll only have about 5 minutes left in the show afterwards. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy. Personalized medicine, customized care to meet your specific needs. Your body is unique to you. Your medicine should be too. Whether you're seeking individual-specific medication, correct size dosages, or simply better tasting medicine, ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about how compounding at West Bay Pharmacy can increase your treatment options, not only for your family, but for your pets too. West Bay Pharmacy, open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sundays and most holidays from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Washing your clothes in cold water can save you 90% of your washing machine energy usage.
Using LED light bulbs uses 75% less energy than regular bulbs, and they last 25 times longer. Keeping your appliances and equipment cleaned and maintained regularly will reduce your monthly electricity bill.
The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costyless, and Foster's.
To learn more, visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and respiratory illnesses are among the top causes of death in Cayman every year. From June 3rd until July 31st, the Ministry of Health and Wellness will conduct the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey to better understand the prevalence of non-communicable diseases within our nation. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps to learn more.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show. I shouldn't even say the leg. We're on the foot of the show this morning rather than the whole leg. This is our final call for the morning for the show. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I just couldn't help calling. I wasn't gonna, but I heard the last caller, and I just want to make two quick points.
Sure,
Number one, I sincerely sympathize that he got by bottled water to water his plants, right? But, I think it's high time that we start holding our representatives accountable, because for the better part of 12 years, we've had a deputy premier who's a representative from the BRAC, Mr. Moses Cacorno, and Juliana used to be the premier in McKeever, and them failed, and now she's the deputy premier. Now, my question is this. How is it that you can make a submission to build a $50 million high school in the BRAC? Now that right there is absurd, right? It's unbelievable. Now I believe in education, but we know that walls don't teach children, right? Secondly, how is it that they pave every road in Cameron Brack, but they don't have water to every resident in Cameron Brack? So, and these things have all happened under these two representatives' watch, right? They've all been in the position of, and with the controlling government was in ruling. They have been part of those governments, and you telling me the people in Cameron Brack don't have water to every household? That's a gross failure on their part, as far as I'm concerned. You know, because I know Miss Juliana paved every road in Cameron Brack, including roads that didn't even need it, had it. So you telling me we couldn't run water at the same time? These are the sort of things that we need to talk about. We got to stop powder coating and putting window dressing on how politicians fail at their job. Now she's the deputy premier and the minister of education, and now she won't build a $50 million high school, but yet people don't have water to their house. Man, let me tell you something. I hope the Brackers hurry up and vote all them out and put new, innovative, out-of-the-box thinkers and doers, because these people are taking this country for some sort of joke, and they're taking the people for even more of a joke, thinking that we can just sit down and accept this sort of politicking and behavior any longer. A message to those people: listen, it's not because they're the older people that we must sit down and give them a blight. You know, we got to start holding these people accountable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The man shouldn't be buying bottled water to water his plants. That's unbelievable. Anyway, I'll leave it there.
Before you go, caller, you know, one of the things that I wanted to discuss this morning, and I didn't get a chance, and as we know, Parliament will meet on the 26th, and the strategic policy statement will be presented then. And the strategic policy statement, I wanted to talk about, you know, what it entails and everything. Now, we know, for instance, that with the PAC government that we have now, that it is comprised mainly of independent politicians. So again, we're going to see this crumble now, because we're 2 years away from a constitutionally mandated election as well. We're going to see everyone scrambling to ensure that their projects are included in this strategic policy statement, or at least in the budget. Whether or not those things that are being advocated for are being advocated to get the individual reelected, or whether or not they're intended to benefit the population, that is the big question. The other thing is, I think the BRAC now is a clear example of when people, those persons who call for us to have, you know, planned growth. Here's an example in the BRAC where there has been no planning for growth. We see land sales in the Bluff increasing, but yet not the infrastructure in place to support it as well. Classic examples. Comments? Any?
Yes, and I'll add to what you just said in regards to landfill. Right now, if you look, and I've been to the Cameron Brack landfill recently, and it was only because I was doing a little bit of research on how much metal that was there since Hurricane Paloma, right? And I can tell you, Mr. Connor, that landfill is a disgrace. You think the one we got here is just bigger? It's just a bigger disgrace. But for the Brack, for something that is manageable, right? Because it's not 100,000 people in the Brack. You got 3,000 people, right? When I drove into that landfill, the gate was open. There was nobody there managing it. They dump people driving there and dump garbage in the where. You had medical waste that were being improperly disposed of, right? And these are the sort of things that I scratch my head and I'm saying to myself, we've had ministers in charge of that's been elected, that's been a part of the government, right, on both sides now, and yet nothing is done about these things. So when we look at what you said, and I can tell you, when we look at the political mileage that is going to come from the projects that they want to get in their personal constituencies, those are the things that create the largest hindrances of proper sustainable continuity. Because how is it that we're going to be even talking about, not saying that education and schools are not prioritized, I'm just saying to myself, the BRAC needs so many other things other than a $50 million high school, because that gentleman said something that was extremely important. The Cameron Brack High School generates a lot of smart individuals. As a matter of fact, a lot of the people who have high jobs and good positions and even in Cayman was educated in the BRAC.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. Why is that why all of a sudden that becomes an emphasis, and especially when this strategic policy plan come out. I can't wait to see how many people throw their personal agendas in the ring, and the country foots the bill, and a lot of the things that are fundamentally affecting us that need to have the prioritization of getting it done. These things never materialize because of the political mileage measuring stick that these guys have. And the people of the country, and I'll end here, the people of this country that is registered voters, they must understand the power that they have being a registered voter, right? And I encourage all of those people who are not yet registered, who is eligible, to go out and get registered, because that is going to be the platform that we're going to be able to use in order to make a difference in our small communities. And we need to be just as responsible by electing people and holding them accountable.
Certainly.
So anyway, that's a good topic, OC, and I think you should carry that one forward to the next show, because we need to talk about that policy plan that's coming out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. You too. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to Worthy Charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. I also want to mention the fact that we have learned of the passing of one huge fan of Radio Cayman, frequently called in as well, Mr. Jeffrey Wood, of his passing. Didn't mention it earlier because we wanted to ensure that we had confirmation, of it, and we want to extend our sincere condolences here from the Radio Cayman family to Mr. Wood family as well. So, folks, have a great day, and we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Visit energy.gov.ky or follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/